Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hyrule Chronicles. This is Legend of Zelda D&D campaign episode not numbered. For we've had our 100th episode, and we were planning on doing something a little special for it. But we didn't get back to the material plane in time. So we'll have an unnumbered episode right here. Yes. With me today on this journey of ours, as always, I have Renji Vox being played by TheNetherlad.
It's me! I'm playing Renji!
Yeah.
Yeah!
I have Hikan Sio being played by Alvarez.
Right when I'm chewing on something too.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
I have Zayden Shari being played by Rubber Pirate.
Hello.
And I have Max being played by Keistrith.
Sup?
So, friends, what happened last time?
So last time we were going towards the Spelljammer after sending a signal to get to the people of Mazro to the half ship so that we could get going as soon as possible, which as Max and Renji, I believe, spent a decent amount of time fixing up the Spelljammer with the battery to a point where the battery can hold more juice, was a good idea. As the shortly after everyone arriving and us getting ready to take our time to leave, we had a departure party, so to speak, of a bunch of whites and eventually a few bone claws. After a mildly stressful battle in which one of us, not entirely sure who, decided to make a very calculated risk that made everybody hold their breath for a moment, we all made it back to Sarcosa, where we talked with Mara, who was very worried about us. Got some information from Uriel to confirm some aspects of Imperium, and were commanded to rest and relax. There was a conversation with Pahaku there at some point, but yeah, that was about it. It was a big match in the middle of it that took up most of it. So.
Yes. So, we rejoin our heroes after having been resting. At least one hopes. At the Sarkoza Inn. Uriel has been kind enough to pay for room and board.
I would like to roll a medicine check on Uriel to see if he's sick, because he's being very generous.
It's very out of character for him to just give someone something. Especially if it costs money.
Well, feel free. You can do an insight check as well if you would like.
I would like to help.
If I'm being helped, that's an 18 medicine and a 27 insight.
Okay, so the 18 medicine, you think he's physically fine. Like he could probably, like, there are a few things that he could do to probably improve his general health, but otherwise he doesn't appear to be running a fever or delirious or anything like that. From a 27 insight from your previous interactions with Uriel, you can probably gather that you are among his best customers, and if he loses you, then that means that's a significant hit to his income. So yeah, he's not so much doing out of the kindness of his heart, he's making an investment.
I mean, that's fair. But still.
Yeah. So with that with that sorted, thankfully, the quality of the rooms and like the beds and everything, and the quality of the food has not diminished since the last time you had come here. Thicket is very thankful for the business, and is just kind of goes about doing as much as he can whenever he can. Um, I suppose I should ask before I get over to the next morning, is there anything that anybody tries to do or wants to do the night before, before carrying on for to the next day?
I think Renji will, not for the first or last time, probably, uh, use the rest of the evening to just commit to memory pretty much everything that there is in the Book of Twilight that he had stolen that set him on this course.
Okay. Just kind of reading it over and memorizing key passages and stuff. Yeah.
Making sure that he, like, if there's anything about breaking the contract that he might not have gleaned from it before, he's specifically looking for that, but otherwise just making sure that he understands what is in it.
Okay. Yeah, just brushing up on your interdimensional legalese.
Yes, especially
Yeah.
that.
So the thing about the Book of the Twilight is it seems like a very vaguely written sort of thing. A lot of the statements within it are fairly broad, with the exception of a few instructions on how to accomplish various things, such as the pact that you are now a part of, and generally just a few other bits and bobs that you probably already utilized as part of your connection to the Harvester and all that kind of stuff. All that you know is generally that from the writing of the book, there's a lot of talk about scientific and arcane advancement, something that is held quite highly. And there's also a lot of talk about about some kind of betrayal. You don't know whether or not that's specifically aimed towards your fellow Sheikah, or if that is aimed towards the royal family or anything like that. For the most part, the actual dialogue in it, however, is very sweeping statement, sort of vague proclamations, that sort of thing. Not necessarily a religious text, but very, very grandiose. Yeah.
There's a passage about like raising, not raising the dead, but raising one's enemies that Renji picks up on. Kind of grosses him out.
Yeah. You can very much tell the malice that resides within this book. Yeah, it's clear that the author was angry about something and felt very strongly about it. But yes, other than that though, there's nothing that immediately sticks out to you as to like any kind of reading between the lines aspect of the pact. The sad thing is that this book doesn't really function as your copy of your contract. It's mostly because it feels like a lot of the stuff that the Harvester has agreed to you with has more or less been a verbal contract, or like something that was not necessarily written down. But it's still very odd that, like, because ultimately speaking, his connection with you, from what you remember, seemed more ongoing than was to be expected. Like him offering to end the contract in any capacity still sticks out as being not the norm. Which probably leads to why there's little information about any kind of consequence or side effect of breaking such a pact. Yeah.
I think it's mostly frustrating. Frustrated that Renji feels before he goes, and probably like we've been talking about sleeping and trance and that sort of thing. I think Renji is accustomed to getting his 4 hours of trance in a comfortable bed, as we've discussed. So, yeah, after reading, he will just lie in bed on his back, arms lightly rested next to it, next to his body, and just, well, fall into that state of trance.
Yeah. You fall into that state of trance, and it's nice. There's thankfully, mercifully, the harvester doesn't seem inclined to open up a dialogue with you at this point in time. So you managed to get your normal trance. And
I think I am curious, or Renji will be curious about that, especially with what happened the last time he encountered some of the Harvester's power when, he was being overtaken.
Yeah. He is suspiciously quiet. At least for the moment. Yeah. Is anybody else doing anything in particular before, after, or in lieu of sleep?
I'm gonna talk to Mara.
Okay.
So just gonna go find her and just ask, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, you find Mara. She's like, as you guys traipse upstairs, she's still on a table downstairs. Uriel has gone off to inspect the spelljammer again, and she's reading
So
over it.
Max probably stays behind when everyone else goes up then.
Yeah. And Mara just looks up from a book and says, "Oh, I mean, it was difficult. I can't lie about that. I mean, physically I'm fine. But
That wasn't what I was asking.
you know how things just seem like everything goes wrong really quickly? And it's hard to prepare for that.
Yeah.
I got off the carriage when we thought we got to Masro, and we just found essentially an empty circle. There was like mud and dead grass and stuff where there would have been like structures and buildings that were sitting on top of it, but it was just gone. And I couldn't see any of you anywhere, and I mean, I know all of you are really strong, but I didn't think you could do anything like that. So, but when I tried to call you, you didn't respond for a while, and I got really scared. It only got worse when we found out where you were.
I definitely don't want to go there again.
I can believe that. Everything everything that I've picked up about the Plane of Lament, which is admittedly not exactly a lot, just whatever's. She taps the book, whatever's in here. But
Isn't that your book?
Hmm?
What else is in it?
he kind of
The
just
book.
leaves through some of the pages. It's just kind of a compendium. I believe it or not, when I was working at the library, there was a lot of spare time that I had, and I decided that it would be nice if there was a kind of brief, like, almanac or glossary of the things that were in the library, so you didn't have to go finding a book in order to figure out what was in it. You could see, like, a blurb. But when I started writing it, it was around about the same time as when you guys were working for Lord Simeon. And when I heard about what happened to Simeon, I decided to put more of a focus on undead things. And that's why it's got stuff like the Umbral Fog and the Plane of Lament, which is, admittedly, it's not exactly a complete thing. Maybe after all this is done and there's enough calm, I can sit down and continue writing it, time permitting, of course.
Yes, sounds like a good idea.
How are you?
You know, I don't like being trapped places, so.
Yeah, yeah.
Doing better now, though.
That's good. I'm really sorry if I had caused any problems from panicking and stuff while you're gone. It's just,
But why would that cause problems?
I don't know. I didn't want to seem like I was making a mountain out of a molehill, or causing anyone else to worry. It's just, I know it's only been a couple of months, and we don't know everything about each other, but you guys are kind of the best friends I've ever had. Kind of a family, almost. Kind of have three brothers and a dad. It just,
Did you not have those before?
no, I was an only child. Didn't exactly get on great with my parents. But I just don't want to lose you guys. You know, you're beyond anything. I just don't want to lose such good people.
Well, came back from Deathland, so guess it's gonna be a little harder for you to get rid of this than you thought.
I'll hold you to that. I don't want to keep you up too long, of course. It's it certainly sounds like it hasn't been the easiest of trips, even if, relatively speaking, it's only been a couple days for you. But I just, if I would prefer it if people got some rest before we carried on doing what we need to do. I can take care of all the administrative stuff that still needs doing.
No. You should take some time off too. Mostly because I don't know what time off is, but it sounds important.
Okay. I'll take a little time off tomorrow as well.
Okay.
Just gotta finish up this last bit, and then I'll make my way to bed.
I just squints at her.
I promise I'll go to bed.
Okay. Then Max will go to bed.
Okay. He drapes upstairs, and depending on how long it takes you to get to sleep, you do eventually hear light footsteps go by your door, and you assume Mara is also on her way to bed.
Good.
Anyone else before the next morning?
On a scale of 1 to 10, if I go take care of the administrative stuff that Mars said they were going to take care of, how in trouble am I going to be?
I think the answer is yes.
Scale of 1 to 10, how good is Hikan at administrative stuff?
About a 3. But I am a 6 at talking to people, so...
If we combine our powers, it will be a 4, but it'll all be in Draconic.
I mean, you could get Renji out of bed.
No, Renji, you guys have already established you're in bed.
You can get Renji out of bed.
No. That's not the point.
I understand what the point is, but I do not like the point.
Literally, the only administrative stuff that Hikan would do would go to the harbor master and be like, okay, this needs to stay here for a while.
I think we should all just go to bed.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Good. Well,
Okay.
let's put it this way. On a scale of 1 to 10, how strong is Mara's disappointment?
And are you willing to withstand that disappointment?
I have a pretty good stealth score. Just head to bed.
Okay.
It's just gonna cause more work for her when she has to fix things.
That is true.
But yeah.
I don't think we'd like Mara when we mess with her spreadsheets.
Mhm.
Yeah. Zayden, did you have anything you wanted to do in the evening? I didn't hear a word of that.
No.
Okay. I see. It also occurs to me, just for context, Zayden's player has recently had quite a nasty cold. So I'll do my best not to.
There's a ass kicking flu going around right now.
Yeah, so we'll refrain from calling upon Zayden for too many lengthy discussion things. But yes. So you all head to bed at various times and get various amounts of rest depending on how things normally are for you. And as you all awaken, some prior to the sunrise, some at the sunrise, you find yourselves witness to a rather pleasant day. The sun is shining, it's completely clear sky, and while you've still got the cool, chill breeze of the sea from the morning, You can tell it's going to be one of those days where things will warm up rather rapidly. And you've managed to, thankfully, I suppose comparatively speaking, from when you were trying to get some rest while in the Plane of Lament, you feel significantly more well-rested than before. Also, as another side note for people, the players have since leveled up, so there's also that boundless additional strength that has been acquired.
We got a bonus to our proficiency bonus.
Yeah!
For the Department of Redundancy department.
I got a new spell.
Yeah.
Technically, I did too.
I can understand curse words in every language.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you arise from your beds. Did you want to grab breakfast downstairs? It's been paid for.
I think so.
We really should enjoy as much of Uriel's uncharacteristic hospitality as we possibly can.
Right.
When you say it's paid for, is it an open tab?
I think it's just a case of like they've done the thing at if Uriel's paid for the equivalent of the additional thing where you can go and get like the breakfast buffet, or you can pick from the menu of like the continental breakfast or something like that. That's the general. That's the general meal plan that he's paid for you. He hasn't like
The
put a kind of
Hyrulean
blank
continental
check.
breakfast. Well, the Holodrum continental breakfast.
Yeah.
Which has lava cakes.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you head downstairs. It's a rather empty, like communal area that you can see here. Thicket is already kind of just like on a stool, scrubbing down the bar with a cloth. He looks up and says, "Oh, hello! Welcome. Good morning. How are you feeling?"
To be honest,
Awake.
I'm not certain how much of the commotion you've heard.
I did hear something strange happen down by the dry dock.
Yep.
Goro was not terribly happy about it, but he acquiesced. That's the important thing.
Yeah, I think some palms need to be greased rather than just on order over the king stuff.
Well, there's a free port. The order of the king in Sarkoza doesn't exactly go as far as one might think, but that's
Right.
besides the point. Do you want me to get you your breakfast now, or do you want to just kind of sit and bask in being awake for a little while longer?
Honestly,
Oh, yeah.
I could have some food, yes.
Okay. At which point he hops down from the stool and heads into the kitchen. Afterwards, he comes
Mind
back.
you, I don't believe we've had actual food for what
We had a little bit,
amounts
yeah.
to 2 weeks.
We had a little bit when we got back and talked to Uriel.
That is
Yeah.
true. That is, yeah, okay.
At least I hope that was actual food.
It was.
Well, it was roleplay food.
It was actual food.
Okay.
He after a moment he comes back, expertly balancing a couple of like 3 trays, one in each hand, another one on his head, and kind of just slides them onto the tables. And it's just a platter of various different fruits and toasted bread, cheeses, meats, starches. It's just a foray of various different mismatched bits and pieces from across the kingdom. Like, Renji, as someone who has probably had or accustomed to a more kind of varied palate, and the the standard of like a continental breakfast and everything like that. You note that not all of it seems to kind of go together, but at the very least, that like it's all appetizing. It's just like someone has taken aspects of a full English and then also taken aspects of a continental and then aspects of a full American breakfast and then put them as to one platter.
Plus, I imagine a lot of fish.
A lot of fish as well, yeah. You get a lot of good tuna, but also some mahi mahi and some plaice. But it's all kind of like sliced into fine fillets. You've got some cold salmon, but also some like fried fish as well to go with it. It's more or less just a grab bag of whatever. It seems like a grab bag of whatever thick it has in his cupboards, which is a lot. Come to think of it, there's just no consistency anywhere.
That's
Mahi
fine.
mahi?
Mahi
The
mahi.
fish.
Oh, wow. Fair enough.
Yeah, he kind of sets that one up. He also then disappears again and comes back with several jugs, 2 of which are fruit juice and 1 of which is just water, and then slides on a couple of cups onto the table. And
Nice.
says, "So, so you're not." He kind of thinks a moment and says, "So you're not actually here for So you were involved with the thing in the dry dock then?"
Yeah, that was pretty much our entrance for this time.
I see. So you're not here for the soiree.
Don't know what that is.
It's a
Do tell.
party sort of thing. Word gets around really quickly. So you know, the Fairwind, that guy. You know that you kind of stopped him and his apparently evil schemes.
Renji goes quiet.
They're pretty evil.
So because of that, the trading company that he was in charge of kind of went belly up. It was down to a lot of like Hyrule Kingdom Inquisition sort of stuff, just to kind of look into it and see what was the problem with, and its connections with a black market magic item dealing cartel. But the thing is, the Fairwind Trading Company traded almost exclusively with Holodrum. And it's been a couple of months since then, or at least it's been a while since then, and the representatives of like the merchant kingdoms of Holodrum have come over here to try and renegotiate trade stuff, because one of their core trading partners is kind of gone. So there's a big party going on in the evening, and
Interesting.
I thought that you might be here because of that, because you guys were the ones who kind of took away Fairwind. For good, you did good, but, you know,
Doesn't sound like we'd be welcome.
Yeah, it feels like more of a gate crashing thing to me.
Well, I don't know.
Though,
I mean,
if we were to get in touch with Renji would know this. What was the name of one of the other companies that were kind of in trouble, but due to us?
Zephyr's favor.
Yeah, Zephyr's favor. Maybe we should check in with Zephyr's favor and see what, if anything, we might do.
maybe. It's a good idea. And I know that it might seem like a little strange to, like you might not be welcome because of the stuff that you did, but to be honest, I don't think, like, he pauses a moment, says, I'm not sure it's gonna be as simple as that. Like, yeah, it put a damper on trade, but the thing is, there's also a lot of stuff that could be gained from this sort of thing. So I don't know. I don't think you'd be unwelcome. But if you're not here for that, then I guess you're probably not already on the guest list.
Probably not. No, our visit here was kind of unexpected, but I appreciate you bringing it to our attention.
Well, it's kind of the biggest thing that's happened in Sarkoza in a little while. I thought I might as well just bring it up. I mean, you're the Storm's Eye. You helped take care of the fog that was keeping everybody indoors and like putting everybody at risk and stuff. I mean, it's not like you're unknown around here.
No, we did throw that. There was another party. Glance over at the others. What do you say to checking out the Zephyrs favor and
I
I
don't.
mean maybe saying hi to Flamgo?
Hmm.
Like I he's not my favorite either. But I hope he hasn't gotten himself into any trouble and maybe, he is quite the business person, business bird. I don't know how that works.
So you're saying we should check up on him?
Yeah, yes, maybe. If we have time.
Oh dear. Okay. The thicket just kind of like nods a little bit and says, "Well, I'll let you get back to your breakfast. I'm always here if you need anything. Just let me know. I had a look at the weather outside. Looks like it's gonna be a beautiful day. If you have any chance to maybe check out the beach, the southern beach, that usually they get really busy on good days."
Also a good thing to check.
And he hops off the stool he was standing on in order to talk to you, and heads back behind the bar in order to continue scrubbing it down and awaiting any further customers. But yeah. So, as you kind of sit down and enjoy some breakfast, Mara makes an appearance. She's already kind of dressed to go places, and kind of looks over and says, "Oh, hey, good morning."
Good morning. Everything all right?
Yeah, I just need to head out really quickly, see if I can catch one of the mail runners before it gets too late. But yeah, are you all rested and stuff?
I'm feeling all right.
Okay. Good. Right. Well, I won't be too long. I just gotta take care of a couple of errands, and then I'll join you guys in relaxing and stuff. I promise. And he kind of like provides something of a side eye to Max.
We're actually thinking of maybe checking out Zephyr's favor. There's apparently a soiree this evening.
Oh, sure. Well, how about this? I'll take care of my things, and if you're heading straight there, I'll meet you there.
Right then.
Okay. Have a good morning. See you in a little while.
Take care.
And she heads out. But yeah, you sit and enjoy your delightful breakfast. As said, there's no consistent theme, but whatever food is there.
We enjoy 5 breakfasts.
You enjoy 5 breakfasts. You decide to label the all-you-can-eat as much as you can eat buffet as a challenge rather than rather than anything else. And yeah, you you finish up, and so after a little bit of time, you Thicket makes sure to remind you that it's already been paid for, so you don't need to provide anything if you don't want to. And
I will drop a gold piece.
oh, thank you very much. Hey, kind of snatches it up and tosses it into a nearby coffer, which is there's a little clinkling, so it's just off the side, out of sight, so it's not easily snatched up by any ne'er-do-wells. And you head out into Sarkoza Port Town proper, and it's now gotten to a point where the sun has kind of burned away a lot of the morning mist, and while there is still something of a nice cool breeze, you know that's probably not going to be lasting for too much longer. As you walk your way through the town and into the main thoroughfares and everything, you can see businesses starting up and preparing for their own morning rush. People walking around. It's still fairly quiet, but otherwise Sarkoza seems to be as lively a port town as ever, at least for the morning.
Good.
You can see a couple of sailors as you get closer to the docks who have regrettably been drinking a fair amount the night before and are just kind of just kind of struggling with their hangovers for now. So a good number of them are lined up near one of the pawn shops to sell off what stuff they have before going on a longer journey. As you make your way along the path northeast upwards into the finer areas of the town with all the stately manor houses and stuff that are situated there, where all the trade companies are based, you can see what was once the Fairwind Trading Company house. The sign has been replaced with Flamgo's Pet Shop. And this aberration that kind of sits in the middle of all these very properly organized buildings for all these trading companies. And then a little ways after that,
we might need to discuss maybe taking over another building.
Why?
And renting this out to a actual trading company.
Nice is just like, why? What's wrong with that?
This is what we call prime real estate.
What's a real estate? What makes it real?
That is not important right now.
Is it fake estate?
Is there an
Is it
imaginary
what?
estate?
Fake estate.
Fake estate. I think you would like Renji gets. You get Renji with that one.
Vanessa says, "Why are you laughing?"
I cannot explain the humorous nature of your comment without extensive lessons.
That sounds like way too much effort.
There.
But yes, so did you want to pop in and speak to Flamgo first, or did you want to pop in and speak to the Zephyr's Favor first?
Hold on.
I mean, if we want to split up, I could take care of Flamgo.
Let's go Flamgo first.
Okay.
Also, I'm going
I
to
go to
turn
the
off,
ocean, I grab a fish
dice.
before going into Flamgo's. Just in case. I'm sure he's turned over a new leaf. But just in case.
I mean, we've checked up on him before, and he seemed to be in good spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you
That was
Ye-
before we told Bruno to go work there, and Bruno might be a bad influence.
That is true. But, you know.
But yeah, you head up the path to the door. You knock on the door and it opens. And inside you see haphazard shelves with various different bits and pieces of animal taken care of, supplies. You can see a pen filled with cuckoos just under the stairs nearby. Like, it very much does look like someone has taken a manor house and all like the sweeping staircases and all the lovely decorations, and then just kind of put in haphazardly a shop.
Yep.
Yay.
Yep.
There's been no renovation whatsoever. It's just there. However,
Yay.
what it does provide
However.
is that as you get in and you see that there, like, the main thing in like the main area is that there is a big staircase that kind of dominates the center of the room and then goes upward, and then you've got a room to the left and a room to the right, and then you've got the balcony just above, or the landing just above. So when you get in, you can see at the top of the stairs there's a puff of smoke and there's a welcome to, oh, it's you, hello.
Hello.
And Flamgo, your flamboyant wizrobe
Flamgo
person
deflates
you
a
know, kind
He's
of
our
like,
employee, kind of, technically.
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Kind of like makes his way down the stairs, not teleporting this time. He actually walks. And he kind of like gets down to the bottom of the stairs and like he's rubbing his feathered hands together, and he says, "Ah, well, welcome back. It's nice to see you. I did hear that there was a bit of a ruckus down by the docks last night. Would that be you? You are the type to cause ruckuses, if I might be so bold as to say."
We try to stop ruckuses from going on, but yeah, this was us.
Okay, very well. Welcome. Well, business has been all right as far as things go. We've been doing a lot of work recently. I hope you don't mind, but I've employed a few other people in order to make sure things are sorted. We had a bit of a business rush recently. Lots of people wanted to come in and buy some dogs or some cuckoos or some cats or some snakes. Normal-sized snakes that can be found in Hyrule, I promise you. And
Are they venomous?
no.
Good.
I sadly do not have the means or the know-how in order to do anything to de-venom any kind of venomous snake. So I thought, it would be just safer for both me and the customer if I was to just leave them be. But yes.
Cool.
So, and he kind of like walks into another part of the store where you can see there are various different smaller caged animals. There's some rats. There's some birds. Unfortunately, not all of them are the type of bird that you would expect to see pet-wise. They're all of them are fairly tame. All of them at a glance look to be well taken care of. It's just that you don't really sell a seagull in a pet shop, do you?
No. But you do sell seagulls on the docks of a port city, apparently.
Yes, he's talking through. He kind of like gestures to one side, and you can see just like setting, like checking inventory. Of one of the other things is a big hulking moblin that you can recognize as being Thief Stealer, and he just kind of is very patiently checking things off on a clipboard. as he's going over various different things. He doesn't seem to have noticed you come in, even as Flamgo continues to talk. He says, "Yes, there are a few chaps who came by looking for work after they had been on a bit of a sea voyage. It seems that the sea did not take kindly to them. The gentleman."
Mostly the specific part of sea that they traversed.
Oh, do you know them?
We've met.
I see. Oh.
And I think at this point, Renji realizes that this pet shop is probably, inadvertently, a bit of a rehabilitation program of the Storm's Eye.
So yeah, it's like, you know how in like animes like Naruto and Dragon Ball, where all your former adversaries become your friends.
End up with a gaggle of villains.
Yeah. So if I do not kill Cassandra and Delilah Summerborn, they will be working here soon.
That's great. I love it. That's hilarious.
Maybe Thief Stealer needs a friend called Gorespire. I nearly said Gallbladder, but that's a different NPC in a different game.
Different game. But yes.
Why are you asking him that? Are you asking him that because, all Moblins know each other? Gosh.
Oh dear. So Flamgo says, small world. I suppose you know the other two chaps then. So as you can see, the gentleman over there is Thief Stealer, and Thief Stealer just kind of like, he doesn't even look your way, just kind of like waves as his eyes trace over some of the other labels just beneath some of the pets, and begins struggling down. He's very dedicated to his task. It's not like a case of like he's having trouble reading anything. He's like hyper focused. Yeah.
Good.
And Flamgo says, and the other two chaps, there's Brixton. He's currently taking inventory back in the back there, and of course there is a young man by the name of Bruno. Bruno, he seems to have come by. He does most of the heavy lifting. But yes, they've been working and been rather helpful after there was a bit of a rush in regards to getting some kind of pets or animals. I'm not sure what it was. There was this one day when I believe a few smaller sloops were being sold in the harbour, and a lot of people were looking to be captains of their own ships. I think there was a bit of a fad going on, you see. Lots of people coming in looking for parrots, and only one or two of them actually walking away with parrots. A couple of others had to settle for, I believe, 2 ravens, a seagull, and a gerbil. But that's neither here nor there. They seemed rather...
I hope for that one person's sake that gerbils go into fashion.
I certainly hope so too. But yes, otherwise, business has been rather booming. Actually, there is one thing I did want to inquire to you about, considering the fact that you are technically my employers. I wanted to ensure that my bosses, board members, shareholders, whatever title you wish to bestow upon yourselves, that they are properly understanding what is going on. And he heads over to a cabinet, and he opens it and he closes it, and he presents what appears to be a letter already opened. And he says, I received this not some days ago. Advanced courier. It was a quay. A quay being another bird that flies rather quickly. He hands you the letter. And inside it appears to be written in a very well calligraphied hand. It's in common, but it appears to be something of a business offer.
Business offer?
Yes. It notes down that a representative from one of the merchant kingdoms in Holodrum has become aware that there is an establishment that sells animals within Sarkoza, and he would like to provide a unique supply of animals from Holodrum.
Oh.
The thing is, give me a history check, actually.
Of course, for you, always.
And
That's a 3.
anyone else is more than welcome to do the same if they need to.
If someone wants to help, that's okay. No worries. No,
Okay.
it's good.
Okay, so, Zayden, you would be aware that Holodrum is in a unique standpoint where the merchant kingdoms that are there are actually relatively small. The reason why is because it was only comparatively speaking, recently settled. And it was only recently settled because it seemed that there was a lot of stuff there that could make people a lot of money. Rare spices, rare metals, that sort of thing. The issue is that it has a lot of very dangerous fauna and flora, and some of that fauna is dangerous megafauna. In fact, one could say that the animals that you found on Ix'an are not too dissimilar to the stuff that that could be found in Holodrum.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Goes not selling moose.
The dinosaurs. It's dinosaurs.
Renji is just
They're
looking
Gonna
at
sell
this and like,
velociraptors.
oh, interesting. This sounds like a wonderful idea. I wonder what kind of animals there are. I should brush up on my geography and on what's the study of animals specifically?
Zoology.
Yes, zoology. So I like Renji is just looking at this, big smile, glancing over at Zayden. How is Zayden looking when he recalls this information? Again, I'm sorry I didn't hear that.
Concerned.
Maybe someone else did.
Concerned.
Concerned. What's the matter?
Holodrum has not very many suitable animals for pets.
Ah. I glance over at Flamgo. Was that something you were aware of, or is this new information to you too?
Well, that's more or less what I was hoping to speak to you about. I knew that there was some exotic animals that could be found in Holodrum, and ultimately speaking, it would be a unique business aspect, but of course, these are animals that are living in an entirely different climate. We're a temperate climate here, of course, and it's a rather tropical one in Holodrum, and also, from what I've been told, things are very dangerous there. And you had given me explicit orders to only sell pets that could be actual pets. So I didn't want to agree to the offer and jeopardize the business transactions and stuff that we have going at the moment. So I thought it best to leave it to you.
Good call. I think it'd be best to discuss this with, and I look over at the letter if it's signed.
Yes, it is signed. Give me a second to have a look for the name.
Well,
I'll give you more.
Hikan will be like, well, you know what dangerous animals are, or can be, or things like that. So I think that, as you know, like Hikan's waving a fish around as he's kind of doing this, just for emphasis here. And just kind of goes, well, I think that you would be good at making a call when it came to that point. You know, like if it
Max
was
is just slowly
something
shaking
you
his.
felt is not safe.
Max is slowly shaking his head like, no, I don't agree. I do not trust this man.
Oh dear. But yes, it appears that the actual It appears that the name on the letter is Nathaniel Phaedros. Phaedros spelled Phadros. Let's see. Zayden would know and would likely explain that Nathaniel Phaedros is the name Phaedros appears to be one of the key settling merchant cities or merchant kingdoms that has occupied Holodrum. They're basically one of the groups that are in charge, though it's a family-run venture, so there's a bunch of Phaedroses. Nathaniel may just be one of them. It's also entirely possible that a representative of the Phaedros family might be in attendance at the party tonight.
Perhaps, I was thinking the same. If they are, it would be, quite convenient to go there and discuss things to make sure that our friend Flamgo can conduct his business properly.
Oh, you're going to the party, are you?
We're
Apparently.
trying to... Well, I'm trying to get in.
Very well, very well. But yes, a previous aspect of myself, prior to being solicited with appropriate advice, would have been more than happy to accept, but at this juncture, with more moral responsibility that has been placed upon me, I feel that, in all honesty, it might be too dangerous to go along with such a thing, so to speak. But as said, I am not. While I may run the day-to-day operations here, I am not the owner of this business. So I shall leave that decision in your hands, if that is quite all right. If you do wish to not go through with it, then by all means, we shall do that. And if you do, then I shall do my best to accommodate for such change and make sure that whatever we do get is not something that can eat or poison their potential owners.
I believe I'm outvoted 3-1, so... But that is fine and understandable. I do not blame people for their votes.
Oh dear. But yeah.
I think for Renji at least, if they can get guarantees that of the animals that are being that are in Holodrum, if there are people or if there are individual species that could either survive here properly and would be easy or relatively easy to take care of, there should not be an issue. However, if it is just the through line that all of these animals are dangerous, then it's an immediate no.
If it's all velociraptors.
Then no.
Yeah. Oh dear. But yes.
I'm not saying I don't want one. I'm saying it's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do think we should let Zayden look at one.
If they've got samples.
if they've
Perhaps.
brought samples, then maybe.
If they've brought samples. A platter, perhaps.
However, we are the owners of the establishment, and if there's a Phaedros person at the soiree, we have an in, even though the entire remit of the soiree was, quote, our fault, end quote. I mean, if it wasn't a dick, it wouldn't have been happening that way.
That is true. And if we just rock up and say, like, hey, we have business with this person,
Yeah, that probably won't go down too long.
I don't know.
But yeah, no. It's more that we have an in type of thing.
True. And I have a plus 15 to persuasion and deception, so contract discussions could reasonably go in our favor.
And I can stand behind you and have a plus 15 to intimidate.
See, we'll make a great team.
Yeah.
Because Max isn't going to be enjoying the party. That's not a thing he
that's
does.
fair. That is fair.
You can play good cop, Pillar of Fury. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yes.
I think if we're there, it would be good cop, Hikan, official cop, that would be me, Pillar of Fury, Max, and kindly Grandpa.
Yeah.
Bold of you to put good cop and not wild card on Hikan.
Oh, you can indeed.
But yeah.
You can hurt someone.
So, is there anything else you would like to do at Flamgo's pet shop?
I get paid.
Yes, true.
Get paid.
Assuming he has money for us today. If he doesn't, it's okay, but I know he did last time.
That is true. Oh, I didn't want to bring it up.
Mess forgot.
That's fine. When it's brought up, if it's brought up, well, even if it's not brought up, before you leave, Flamgo will provide you with a sum of money that the business has made, with, of course, deductions for restocking, employing new staff, that sort of thing. Because of the rush of people needing a thing to sit on one's shoulder when going sailing.
Including giant miniature hamsters.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You receive a total of 750 gold pieces.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shall we put that to like 150 each, including Mara?
Yep.
Okay.
I have 150 gold now.
Yay!
Good.
Okay. So
Addition is easy when you start with 0.
yeah. Having been paid, and bidding your business companion farewell, you head out from Flamgo's pet shop, rejoining the road, and making your way up to Zephyr's favor, which seems to be, as you kind of like knock on the door and the door opens for you, you see everything's a bit more in full swing now, because the last time you were here, the building was essentially,
They were nearly going out of business, right?
yeah,
They
were
had
basically
actually
packing
gone
up.
out of business, and
Yeah,
then we convinced them to come back because they needed competition, or there's a monopoly.
yeah,
There was opportunity for them.
yeah. So as you enter in, the person at reception looks up and says, "Oh, welcome to the Zephyr's favor. Might I inquire as to your business here?"
Yes, we would like to speak to whomever's in charge, please.
Very well. I'll see if
Nice.
Mr. Rayburn
Renji
is,
might know a name. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see if Mr. Rayburn is available.
Thank you. Tell him the Storm's Eye would like to discuss things.
Ah, I see. Very well. He kind of turns around on a swivel chair and he unhooks something from the wall. It appears to be like a little funnel that goes into a thing. And he leans over a bit, pulls lever down to one point, like in the middle, and then says, Mr. Rayburn, sorry to interrupt, but it appears that we have the Storm's Eye here. They wish to speak with you briefly. And there's a very muffled. Oh, yes. From the funnel, so. Very well. Mm-hmm. You'll be down in a few moments.
Thank you.
And, he just kind of, receptionist goes back to checking over a few things. After a few moments, from the top of the stairs, you can see the Sea Zora, the venerable Kalish Rayburn, who walks down. He sees you and smiles lightly. Ah, hello. Welcome. It's good to see you again. How are you faring?
Good to see you too. I shake his hand.
He firmly shakes yours. So, have you...
I see that things are going well.
Yes, very much so. Without the Fairwind Trading Company in play, there has been rather lack, I should say, of any other further competition besides the Brass Bell, but, well, we've had to contend with them for the longest time anyway. So, we are doing rather well, though I must admit, we have something of a rather vital trade negotiation or networking opportunity later today.
Yes, the soiree, I've heard.
Yes. Will you be in attendance, perchance?
Well, I personally would love to attend. I know some of my compatriots are not as fond of these get-togethers, but it is something that we would also be interested in maybe talking to, I believe, Sir Phaedros.
Ah, yes, I see. The Phaedros family, they are, they're rather difficult at times, but there will be no doubt that one of them will be in attendance to the soiree tonight. By all means, if you are not already invited, I'd be happy to have you accompany me in this little party, as it were. It would be nice to have you there. I am sure that, given circumstances, it may seem a bit like a chilly reception, given you were responsible for removing Fairwind from the equation, but in all honesty, when it comes down to it, I believe the diplomatic aspect of Holodrum would be thankful for your intervention. After all, it would not serve anybody were two great nations to sever diplomatic and economic ties because they had been manipulated so expertly by a criminal organization, you know?
I fully understand. Now, you mentioned that the Phaedros family could be difficult. What do you mean by that, if I may ask?
I suppose that comes down to a larger aspect of ethics, so to speak. To put it lightly, unlike in Hyrule, where most things are governed by an elected, a essentially elected government that is an attachment to a monarchy, and unlike here, where it is an entirely democratic aspect of liberty and whatnot, Holodrum seems to lack a number of regulations. Unfettered capitalism is exactly the order of the day in the small settlements of Holodrum, unfortunately. And this is me saying, unfortunately. You see, they're difficult to deal with because a lot of, the original Phaedroses, who had hailed from other lands such as Labrina and Hyrule and such and so forth, they've only ever known the laissez-faire capitalism aspect of their society. So they can be rather entitled and in some cases not very aware of more moral aspects of business, you know?
I see.
Yes. So they can be pleasant in their own way. They can be a rather nice conversation, but unfortunately, when it comes down to brass tacks, they are not terribly easy to negotiate with. It's very much a zero-sum game when it comes to the Phaedroses, especially the Phaedroses.
So if I may ask, how did they take the deposement of the Fairwind Trading Company?
It's hard to say, hard to understand the tone of the letter. We didn't really have many dealings with any of the nations of Holodrum, so to speak. Most of our trade has been done with Labrina, but the actual so the letters and missives that have been passed around have been of a very kind of kindly, soft-spoken tone. They are clearly there wanting to make sure that a deal is done, but, well, you can only deal so far, you know? We really don't know exactly what it is that they are wanting or what it is that they seek out of this. They clearly want some kind of agreement to happen, but it is difficult to say if they are willing to acquiesce to an actual deal and not some kind of thinly veiled reparation, or if they did not really care of the nature of Fairwind and just want there to be boats going back and forth.
So you would say they've been professional in their communication, but
Precisely.
not much beyond that, I see. Very well. I would love to take you up on your offer of accompanying you this evening.
Excellent. That is the case. By all
Was
means,
there a dress code?
formal, I believe, is the order of the day. Not necessarily anything too flashy. Just something.
I cast prestidigitation to buff up my armor.
Maybe if you have something more, I wouldn't say terribly armored. I know it's not exactly the ideal situation, no, but it would be wise in some capacity to maybe have something a bit more, something that you would purposefully wear for a nice evening out.
Very well. I do have fine clothing for this purpose, DM. So I say, I believe I have something to that effect that could be useful. Yes.
Max just has a look on his face that's, oh god, not again.
I'm sorry, Max. I would say you don't have to come if you don't want to.
Just slowly looks at you like, as if to say, you know I'm gonna end up being dragged there for some reason.
Renji just rubs his forehead.
Well, the important thing is, if you wish to come along, by all means, if you were to arrive here at roughly 6 o'clock, you and whichever companions would like to come along for the festivities, it will not be a terribly involved ordeal. There's only so much that you can do on a boat, after all. They should be arriving sometime earlier today. From what I can tell, or what I've been told, the representative of the Holodrum will be arriving by frigate, and they, in fact, will be the hosts of the party on that very boat. But we shall take care of that when the time comes, eh? But you're more than welcome to come along. I'm sure that in certain circumstances they will be happy to see the people that have been responsible for not only saving Sarkoza, but also saving quite a big amount of trade, I would think. But yes. Now, if you'll excuse me, there is a little bit of paperwork that I need to be taken care of before I can relax for the evening, so to speak.
Of course.
So, I will bid you adieu.
Indeed. See you tonight.
He turns around and walks back up the stairs, taking his very gravelly voice with him. Oh dear. Why did I put all the gravelly voiced people in Sarkoza? What's wrong with me?
Just need to add some with softer voices.
Yeah, I do.
The sea salt adds some grit.
All of the Holodrum people need to just have very soft voices.
Oh yes.
That's true. That's very true. But yes.
Holodrum ASMR.
Hell yeah.
But yes, as Rayburn makes his way back up the stairs, and I'm guessing that you guys make your way out of the offices. As you
I
exit,
think with that sorted, we should head to beach
Yeah.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. As you exit the offices, you see Mara as she kind of wanders up the path and sees you leaving. Oh, I was late, wasn't I?
For what?
You're here right
Okay.
now. That's more the more important thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I didn't really have anything I needed to speak to Mr. Rayburn about, so by all means, is the what now? What's the plan?
Well, I don't really have much planned between now and the evening, where we are invited as guests to the soiree, or guests of Mr. Rayburn.
Oh, excellent. That sounds good. So, kind of like looks around. It's by this point that the cold weather has kind of been burned away a bit. It's about mid to late morning, and the sun is unhindered in its providing of heat. So it's fairly warm. Although you are, let's see, what angle are you at? So you're kind of, I'd say you're still in the shade of a building, so there is a little bit of a chill still. But it's quite clear that it's a very lovely day with lots of hot weather. Yeah, Mara kind of looks to you guys and says, "So, beach? I think that was your plan, was it?"
I think it would be a good place to enjoy the weather. And, get some of that rest in that we desperately need.
Very well. Let's go. And she makes her way down the path, and I assume you guys follow. And heading down the pathway along the dock towards the southern beach, you can see that there's quite the congregation of people kind of just making their way over there. They've all got like a bag over a shoulder and everything, wearing light breezy clothes. And as you get onto the beach, you see that it's not super duper busy, but there are definitely people here. And as you kind of look about, you see a couple of other things. Closer to the further up the beach, backed against some of the natural like grass and trees and stuff, are a series of stalls that a few people are already beginning to set up. One of which appears to have been set up quite a while. It has like a series of bags, a pile of shovels, and like another pile of bricks next to it. And this guy's just this fairly medium build Hylian, is kind of leaning on the table that he's sitting behind. He's got a canteen of water next to him, and he's kind of looking over the beach. Next to him and lying down, there are a bunch of other stalls as well, where you can see people are setting up bits and pieces, like some are setting up food, others are setting up drink, others are setting up a bunch of other stuff. And closer to the shoreline, fuck it, your natural perceptions are fucking massive, you're not going to miss this. you see a familiar Goron who is setting up a series of fishing rods closer to the actual edge of the water.
Amazing.
There's there's like 2 people who are walking to a larger group of people with very long lengths of rope. It seems people are beginning to have something of a good time. You can see that quite a ways down the beach is another group of people who are standing around. It looks like they're dancing, and there's one lady who is standing on a set of boxes, and she's got a fiddle and she's playing along, and a bunch of people are just kind of having a good time over there. So, what do you want to do?
I think I would like to find a place to change into something more suitable for the beach.
Okay.
And then once I'm done, I will run into the sea. And the moment I get to about like a good depth for swimming, I will misty step 30 feet up into the air. And cannonball.
Nice. Yeah, there's like there's a couple of places. There's not like designated changing rooms, but there's a couple of places where there's like the bush cover and everything is significantly more is significantly thick enough that you can hide behind it briefly in order to do that. Unless of course you want to go somewhere like a nearby tavern and then walk all the way back to the beach, but it's not that much of a walk, so it's really up to you. But yeah, as you kind of make your way through there are a bunch of people who are just like at the edge of the water. Some of them are doing that thing where they get only a little bit in and feel how cold the sea water is and come back out, and others are just doing what you're doing, sans magic, where they're just running as far into the water as they can, diving in, really going for it. A couple of people look and watch as you suddenly vanish and then reappear 30 feet into the air and fucking cannonball into the ocean. There's a splash and there's a couple of people who cheer. What's everybody else doing?
Fishing with Roto.
Yeah.
Since he's got the stuff setting up there.
Yeah. So you head over to Roto. He as you kind of approach, he looks over and smiles and waves and says, "Oh, hey, it's you."
Yeah, how are you doing?
Ah, well, you know, I think I've had my fill of boat trips for now. Not to say that the boat trip that we were on was particularly unpleasant, but you know how it is. I can't swim. It's not exactly the safest option for me. But I can do some fishing. That's real good.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm setting up something of a small business venture to take advantage of the good weather here. All I'm asking at this point in time is 5 silver per catch. Basically, you can pick up a rod. You can go fishing. If you catch something, you can keep it if you pay me 5 silver. Well, renting of the rod, of course. But you know, we're friends. I think I can offer you a discount of 100%. And he smiles really widely.
Hikan, who's absolutely bad at math, is like, so is that like 2 silver or?
That's 0, friend. That's 0. You don't pay me anything. It's all good.
So what he says that the thing about that is something that I haven't used since we've had Zayden in the party is I'm an outlander, so I have the wanderer thing, which allows me to get enough food to feed my party.
That's amazing.
That's great. That's great. I don't even need you to make a roll. You just kind of you can pick up a rod. It's
Sit
not.
there and...
Hmm?
Go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say, I just sit there and chill and talk with Roto and fish.
Yeah, he's just like he's happy for the company. You kind of chat and reminisce for a period of time. It's rather pleasant. Like and the weather doesn't let up either. The sea is it's like nice and calm. Like there are waves, but it's not like overbearing in any capacity. But yeah, you managed to catch a fair few fish, some fairly impressive ones as well. And because of that, bunch of other people come over in order to take up some fishing rods. Rodo explains the terms, and they also begin to fish, and some of them catch something. They pay Rodo 5 silver, and then they take it away. It's a nice little spot to just enjoy some sea angling, at least for a little while. Max, what are you up to?
Extreme awkwardness.
We love to see it.
Just standing there like, I don't know what to do.
Mara kind of like looks over at one of the stalls and then looks back over the beach, and she makes a connection in her head, which you pick up on rather quickly, is that the first stall, the guy with the bag, the shovel, and the bricks, essentially what they're selling is fire pit kits. You can see a bunch of people on the beach have they use the shovels to dig out a pit in the sand. They put the bricks down. They pour the bags on it, which is full of charcoal. They light it and then they sit around it. And Mara says, "Why don't we go set up a fire pit somewhere nice and cold, nice and quiet, away from everybody else, and then when the others are done with their things, they can come meet us and we can just chill."
Okay. I will follow her lead.
She heads over to the first stall, and Frederick, the Hylian behind it, looks over and says, "Oh, okay. Well, here's the deal. It's 5 gold for a pit, and you can rent the shovel for 3 silver. But then if you bring back the bricks and the shovel, and make sure that the beach is nice and clean when you're done, then I can reimburse you some of the money that you spent."
But if you start digging through the entirety of the beach, you may find a lot of red rupees.
Yeah.
I'm just applying Zelda logic here.
That's fine. It's okay.
And if you walk too far away from where you've dug, and you then return, it's completely smoothed over.
Beaches are magic like that.
Yeah.
Max just blinks a couple of times, then just hands him 6 gold.
Well, thank you. He hops up. If Zayden is with you at this time, he will hand you the bag of charcoal, which is not terribly heavy. Zayden, he'll hand bricks. Though he doesn't actually provide you with a pile of bricks that you have to carry with your free hands. It's he basically wanders around the stall, and then he provides you with a wicker rope sort of net, which he then hands the reins off to Zayden, and it allows him to drag the bricks across the sand. I'm sure that with a wild shape elemental form, it's significantly easier to do. But he wasn't aware that a druid would be at his stall today. And then he hands Mara the shovel, and he says, "Well, have at it."
Thank you.
So yeah, you have a look around. You find a nice spot that's not too far away from the edge of the water, but not too close to it. and also a nice distance away from the other people at the beach, so that you're able to kind of have a nice little secluded spot by yourselves. And with that done, it doesn't take too long to dig out a nice sizable divot in the sand.
Max doesn't bother with the shovel, he's just using his hands.
Yeah.
Let's Mara's side and use the shovel.
Yeah. And then with
Still got the gauntlet on.
yeah. With the divot made, you set down like a bed of these bricks, and to make a nice brick bowl, and then the charcoal gets poured on, light a fire, and you have a nice little comfortable little charcoal fire pit, just kind of glowing away for you there. And Mara just kind of like sighs in satisfaction, sits down, like puts her bag to one side, like removes her coat, so she's down to like a short sleeved shirt and everything, so she's not terribly baking in the heat, and just kind of like watches the sea a moment, and says, yeah, it is, I guess it is kind of nice here. So,
Also, a point of order. I will have given my bag of holding and everything to Max, whilst I am swimming, and probably I will do like another Misty Step cannonball somewhere like off at the end of like, okay, I'm going to take a short rest now.
yeah. Yeah. So as you sail into the air, you like the sea. It's like it's a little. The water is closer to the port of Sarkoza. The water is a little grimy, but further away from it, there's this nice. It's this clear blue, very pleasant sort of refreshing seawater. You can see quite clearly where, like as you kind of go under the water every so often, depending on how well you can see under the water, you can see the point at which the shoreline really dips down to that point where, like, even if you're swimming for a while, you can't really see the bottom anymore. Yeah, it's a nice nice experience swimming about, as you've had your fill, and for the moment at least, and swim back onto the shore in order to have a short rest. You do find the others who are by the fire pit. I don't know how long Hikan wants to sit and fish for.
Once things start slowing down again, or like either when they get really busy and it's just kind of like I've got enough, I'll head over, or if it starts slowing down before that, I'll just be like, okay, well, thank you for letting me use that, and take my catch and head over to the fire pit.
And thank you for providing me with company on this lovely day. Just don't be a stranger, huh?
I won't.
But yeah. You make your way back over. You see that they've set up a fire pit and everything. Perfect for cooking things. Yeah. You rejoin the others as you sit around the fire pit. Yeah. It's an otherwise lovely day. Mara looks over and says, that's quite a lot of fish.
Yeah.
Looks tasty.
Okay, I'll go find some sticks. Again.
Yeah. Finding
Roast
sticks.
fish over a fire. That's brilliant. Wow.
Yeah. Finding sticks is not a terribly difficult prospect. And as you kind of sit down and prepare these fish of various different sizes, Mara just kind of she looks out over the over to the sea again, and is just kind of lost in thought for a moment. She rubs the two rings that she's got, one of which you know to be the ring of expedient rest. The other one she's had for a while, but whether or not it's magical is a different matter. And she kind of just looks out and says, "So, not to be too focused on work, but what was our next course of action? If we don't want to discuss it at the moment and like wait until tomorrow when everyone's had a rest, by all means we can, but what's the plan?"
I think I'll quickly outline the plans of going to Zora's domain.
Mhm.
Talk to the name was said before. Artismal, yes. Then go down south. Deal.
Kill Philip. Sorry,
What?
reference. Don't worry about it.
Philip? Who's Philip again?
Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, okay. Okay. And after killing Philip, we go back to Hyrule Castle Town before traveling west to
Killing Philip is now the euphemism for breaking the pact.
Okay. We will go for that. Honestly, next time there is going to be a harvester scene, I will just say hello, Philip. He will not get it.
Yeah.
I abandoned that name long ago.
I summon you by your true name, Philip!
When
Fuck.
when Castletown is mentioned, Hikan will float the idea of going halvesies on a diamond to see if they can resurrect Simeon now.
Has
That
anyone
is.
asked him if he wants to be resurrected?
I think that's something we should do beforehand.
How do we ask him?
There is something, I believe, speak with dead that some clerics or priests can do.
I take one of the extra sticks that I have, and I just say, if you're here, write yay, Y, or N. And I just hold out the stick.
Is Simeon with us?
We're gonna need a Ouija board.
A Luigi board.
There's no response to your hastily scrawled Luigi board in the sand.
It's the salt in the air.
Yeah, it keeps ghosts away.
You ever been to a haunted beach? I don't think so. Wait.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
But yeah, it doesn't appear that it's difficult to say at this point as to whether or not he's not responding at all just because he doesn't want to, or if he can't.
Or if he's not here.
Let's check. Eldritch Sight, do I see anything around us? Has Simeon just been ghosting us, or has he been shadowing us?
He's there. He's not like standing over
Yes.
everybody.
He is.
He's kind of just hanging out nearby. As you kind of recognize, as it seems that he recognizes that you can see him, he offers a wave, but that's about it.
Okay, I wave back and then say, raise your right arm for yes, your left arm for no. Do you understand?
Unfortunately, with a natural 1, as learned as Simeon is, he can't lip read.
Oh!
Rip.
Yes, that we could. catch.
I grab one of the sticks! And I start drawing in the sand these instructions.
Okay.
Because we're having a fire pit party with fish and talking to a ghost. I
Hell
did
yeah.
not expect this beach episode to turn out this way.
Hell yeah.
In all honesty, neither did
Well,
I.
More beach party should have ghosts.
Yeah.
Please
So
invite ghosts to your beach
I want
parties.
sun hats bobbing up and down, just spookily.
he watches you write something in the sand,
Mhm.
and as you explain the instructions in the sand, he raises which arm did you say was yes and which arm
Right
did you say
arm for yes.
right arm for yes? Okay, he raises his right arm.
Communication! So then, I will just go for it, and I roll right in the sand. Do you want us to try and resurrect you?
He raises his right arm.
Do you mind being a different species when we do?
Won't be possible.
No,
There's
it's too late for that.
Oh, that's true.
It's-
That's true.
It's too late for that.
That's
Rather.
too late. Never mind. If I'm starting to write this and Zayden will catch me, I will just start erasing it. Do you have a secret bank account in Sarkosa?
What is your social security number?
Why are you asking about a bank?
What?
Amazing.
What's a bonk?
A bank is has to do with money.
Okay. Immediately not interested.
Yeah, that'll shut him up.
So the question that you provide to him, he tilts his head to the side in confusion.
Resurrection
worried?
is expensive.
Yeah,
Do you
I can
have
afford
money?
it. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
I'm just trying to expedite.
Expedite what? There's a jewelry shop in Castletown.
You
And I'm
have
sure I can afford
25K.
it. What?
We have 25,000 gold pieces.
We would only need 1,000 for
Yeah,
normal
we
resurrection
already
spell.
figured out that we need 1,000, not 25.
Okay.
As long as you can find a 13th level cleric.
I've been hanging around in the holy sections.
Do you want to be resurrected as soon as possible, or are you okay with us? I will sketch out a very simple map of Hyrule. I will draw X's at Zora's domain and at where we think the ziggurat is, and then also Hyrule Castletown and Sarkosa, and just go Sarkosa, Zora's domain, ziggurat, Hyrule Castletown. And then, is that okay with you?
Give me a charisma check, and if you're proficient in artist's tools or painter's tools or cartographer's tools, you can roll it with perception.
Okay.
With proficiency rather. Sorry.
Let's see. I am proficient with navigator's tools.
That'll work.
Okay. Then. So what do I roll?
So charisma plus proficiency. So any
Okay.
skill you have that with already that isn't expertise.
That's a 23.
Okay, so you are able to convey this message to Simeon and also do so in a way that he can answer with a binary yes or no.
Yes.
This
may take several questions.
This may take several questions, yeah. So after a time, you basically understand that Simeon isn't really like he tries to convey that he's not really going anywhere. So if you have other stuff you need to do and won't be able to get to resurrecting him immediately, he's okay with that.
I'm trying to figure out how he can travel with us if we're doing like travel via plant.
He's a ghost. He's a creature. He just needs to chill near us. He'll be fine.
That's true. Okay.
I mean, my suggestion was going to be, can he chill in the skull? Does it have room for one more?
Hey, you need to get room for one more in there.
Oh no.
Give him a roommate.
Oh dear. Something you may have to spend some time deliberating over. Chiefly because, unlike most Poes that you have interacted with previously, Simeon is kind of caught in a quantum state of existence. Because of him having been taken from a place that he was very much like supposed to be kept in like a cage. It's like that's the reason why he's not able to like manifest and be able to speak with you directly. He's essentially just it's difficult to say whether or not he is in a state of being that can be affected in the same way normally creatures can be. Mara will speak up with a suggestion and says, if I know it might be a little bit lonely, but if he's willing to, maybe if he can head to Castletown and wait for us there. As long as we have a clear.
But who's going to know that he's there?
Well,
no one.
Well,
you're the only one who can see him right now.
Yeah. So
anyone who can mess with the dead.
Right, you're taking it on my word that what I'm saying is coming from Simeon. Oh, darn it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
It's a good thing we trust you.
Yeah, I just worry that you might think I've lost my mind.
Why?
I don't know. A lot of stuff has been happening.
Yeah, but we were there in the other place where we saw him.
Yeah, true.
Well, we have time to think about it.
Right, yeah.
And we have a way to talk to him now. So, if anything, we just come back to the beach in the morning and convey any kind of plan that we have with him then.
I will start writing about what we have planned for this evening. And that we will probably head to Thickets Inn for the night afterwards before setting on our itinerary. That's the word.
Yeah. You convey that to him. He gives a nod. He doesn't really wander off anywhere. He kind of sticks with you guys because he hasn't really been to Sarkoza before, so he's just kind of hanging around with people that he knows, even though he's completely imperceptible
Mhm.
to anyone
It
here.
really sucks that he doesn't know how to lip read, because I would love to just go and point out, like, oh, hey, this is where
But you need to
this
break.
is, and
You need to just have a notepad with you and just write everything down and show him.
that is also fair.
Yeah. But yes, with your ghostly friend
Mhm.
in tow, you spend a bit more time just relaxing by the beach and enjoying some
If,
cooked fish when it's finished.
If Mara's book is like visible, Max does keep glancing at it.
It's very visible, yes.
He just keeps looking at it like, what was in it?
Yeah. But that is where we shall end the episode for today.
Does that mean we're going to have another unnumbered episode next time?
Maybe?
Or is this going to be 101?
It depends.
Hmm.
We've got some
Well,
time.
there.
We can discuss it, but
Hyrule Chronicles episode X1.
yeah.
I mean, next time might have enough actual plot in it to be a numbered one. We don't know.
Yeah.
We've had shopping episodes before where less things have happened.
Yeah.
That's true.
Does Renji have prestidigitation?
Yes.
You can use
Yes, I have it too.
you can use that to make an illusory image in your hand, which could be text.
That is true.
Hmm.
Yay!
Okay. Fantastic. All right. So,
Fantastic.
whatever this episode will be numbered. Thank you everybody for watching and listening and everything. I have been ArticulateT the Game Master. This has been the Legend of Zelda D&D campaign Hyrule Chronicles, and with me, as always, I have had Renji Vox being played by TheNetherlad.
I can speak to a dead person.
I have had Hikan Sio being played by Avrdal.
Bye-bye.
I have had Zayden Shari being played by Rubber Pirate.
Goodbye.
And I have had Max being played by Keistrith.
This boy does not know how to beach.
Each please.
And we'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody. Bye bye now.
Bye-bye.